Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we're going to be doing another first impressions review. Today we're going to be looking at something that is really interesting. It recently came out a few weeks ago, I think, maybe a week ago, or two, depending on when I released this. But it had been coming out for like a year, but it just kept getting pushed back, and that's Kamen Rider Kuuga, or Kamen Rider Kuuga. I don't know how to say it, and sometimes I don't know. And this is, technically speaking, the first manga by Stonebot Manga, but as you can see, it's also Titan. So if you've ever bought a volume of Ryoko or Gamma Draconis or something like that, you probably know this company. I don't know why it's two different companies that did this together. I'm guessing Stonebot Manga was in charge of the interior stuff, and Titan was the one that decided to publish it, and so they collaborated here together. I'm not sure if that's how it went. But it does seem viable. It makes sense to me that it would be like that. But this Kamen Rider Kuuga, it's kind of a good introduction to Kamen Rider, at least that's what I've been told. And technically speaking, it's not my first time getting into Kamen Rider. I have seen some episodes of a season of Kamen Rider at some point when I was young. I was in Mexico. I was watching one of the, generic channels that everyone can watch just by having an antenna. And they had Kamen Rider, and I kept watching it because it looked like Power Rangers, and I thought it was cool. It did look a little bit more adult, and I think that is generally more or less the consensus, is that Power Rangers or Sentai stuff is for younger people, and Kamen Rider is a bit more adult. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it does seem to be kind of the thing. And even here it says suggested for mature readers. So there you go. Now let me show you a little bit about this edition before we get into the book facts. So first of all, it's very nice, all black. My specific edition, or my specific copy, has a misaligned spine. So part of the back goes into the spine, which is kind of annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. Here in the back, you can see a bit more of that nice black background, a little bit of red accenting, and some pages that are in color that are actually inside this, but inside they're not in color. So this is a kind of interesting compromise to kind of show you some of the detail that you're missing out on from this edition. It goes for $13, $12.99 USA, $10 UK, or £10 UK, and $17 Canadian. And it says here, based on the hit tokusatsu show Kamen Rider Kuuga manga, available in English for the first time. And it's pretty interesting. Here's the inside. It has color on these flaps, which is interesting because they use them as marketing material, which I think is cool. But sadly, there's no actual color pages inside the book. Let's see. Oh, interesting. So inside here, it seems like the editor and digital manager are all from Stonebot, and then basically everything else was from Titan. But I don't see who did the translation here. Let's see, this was also printed in the UK. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who did the translation. Interesting. But yeah, no color pages, which kind of sucks. But, it is what it is. Let me show you what the pages that are noticeably supposed to be in color, but are not, look like. Okay, so first, here's a very clean page that's not supposed to be in color. And then here are the super inked up pages that should be in color, but are not. And as you can see, these pages correspond to the pages back here. So I really wish that was in color, but it's not that big of a deal that it's not. It's fine. Now, let me actually review this, or let me actually talk about it, because so far I've just been saying a bunch of nothing. So this story is originally by Shotaro Ishinomori. Of course, he is the god of tokusatsu, basically. Well, maybe not, but he is the guy that did all of the henshin hero type things. The script here is by Toshiki Inoue, the art is by Hitotsu Yokoshima, and the planning director is Shinichiro Shirakura. If you've read Ultraman or Atom, I think these all ran in the same magazine, which is sensical. I think it's something called Heroes Champion or something like that. And like I said, the publishers here are Titan Manga and Stonebot Manga, as you guys can see right there. And the demographic is seinen. This is for mature readers, like it says back here. And the genres here are tokusatsu, science fiction, superheroes, because tokusatsu henshin heroes are the same as superheroes. And this adapts the live action show from the 2000s called Kamen Rider Kuuga. It also apparently takes inspiration from certain things that are part of Kamen Rider Agito. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know too much about the Kamen Rider series, so I don't know what, if that means anything. But if you're a fan of those series, let me know down in the comments what it means. And basically, the first chapter, or the first half of the chapter, actually begins with some people in some mountains in Japan, where they end up realizing that they're in some sort of weird, almost Mesoamerican looking tomb, and they unearth this Pillar Man looking dude. And shit happens, they all die, and things end up being pretty bad. However, I do think that the guy that they released is supposed to be the Kamen Rider, and separately there's a bunch of monsters running around, right? So we see that introduction where they release this ancient man in a very kind of JoJo's-esque, JoJo's Part 2-esque kind of fashion. They all die. Then we move over to a pair of detectives who are playing kendo, or who are, practicing kendo, or, Japanese sword fighting. They're interacting. We basically spend the rest of the volume with them as they go through the realization that there's something that goes bump in the night, something that is terrorizing humans that is not actually beholden to human laws. In this case, it's these like insect monster things. We see 4 of them. Each of them has a different logo. Let's see if I can find it. As you guys can see it right there. It took me a long time to find it, but there you go. There's 4 symbols, each associated to these different characters. One of them looks like some sort of praying mantis, a flower, a lion, cat of some sort, and some sort of fly, right? So I'm guessing that these are the next 4 bad guys after the one that's kind of the main bad guy in this first volume. So we follow these people, and then they meet another guy called Yusuke, and he ends up being kind of friendly with one of these detectives, and he kind of has this like genuine, naive spirit to him. And so eventually, at some point, the Kamen Rider, the spirit of the Kamen Rider, goes up to one of the detectives and says, "Are you the one?" The detective basically doesn't answer the call, so it moves on and eventually lands on someone else. And there's an affirmation of this kind of oath, and then this character turns into the Kamen Rider here at the very end. And it's very, very cool, actually. I really liked it. I thought it was really interesting. It does have this awesome kind of like ancient kind of vibe to it. It's almost like someone went on a kind of like an Indiana Jones type story, but then it ends with a Power Ranger, and I think that's really, really cool. I think that's really awesome. I really, really like that. So I'm very excited to read more of this. It's very, very well done. I don't know when the second volume comes out, but it'll probably be in the next couple of months. And the one thing is that the Japanese edition, every book is black. In the American edition, it looks like they're changing the background color, which I think it's a big no-no. I think they should really keep it all black. It looks really, really awesome. But it might be that because it's one of their launch titles, they do want to differentiate it a little bit, and so they're trying to make it look a little bit more interesting by adding more interesting, cool colors. Or they were not allowed to use the completely black backgrounds like the Japanese edition by the Japanese publisher. I'm not sure, but there is a difference there, so be aware of that. There's also this other Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider 01, coming out at comic book stores, also based on a TV show. And this one is coming out, I think, by the issue. So that's kind of interesting. If you have a local comic book shop near you, you should definitely order it, because I think it's really soon, actually. So I'm not sure when it comes out. But that's cool. It's interesting. I really like this first volume, and I'm definitely going to pick up more of them. I already have Adam in the Mexican edition, and I'm almost caught up to the final volume, or the latest volume that they have out. So there really is no point for me to buy the American edition, especially because they're almost the same size and everything. So I'm not going to get it, but I'm definitely going to continue picking up Kamen Rider Kuuga volumes, and I'm very happy that I did. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought down below, and thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.